Online grooming is where somebody builds a relationship with a child or young person with the aim of building their trust so that then maybe later down the line they can abuse or exploit them. It's quite a new thing, really. I mean, grooming has always existed and there's always been abuse, but the internet has now become a tool by which an online predator can exist, basically. So an online predator is a sexual predator who uses the internet as a tool to get what he wants or she wants. In real life, grooming, it can be easy enough. If you know the child or young person, it's easy to kind of ingratiate yourself into their life. Online grooming makes that even easier because you can do it with strangers. You can do it with anybody that you meet on a social media platform. So you can do it on Facebook, you can do it on Twitter, you can do it on Kik, you can do it on WhatsApp. Whatever way you can access a child, you will be able to groom a child. It is very difficult for a young person to know whether or not they're being groomed because the groomer is so good at it. They will present themselves as being the young person's friend, as being someone the young person can trust. So they will agree with the young person on everything. They'll have the same interests, they'll have the same things that they like and don't like. They will say, oh yeah, One Direction, I love One Direction, stuff like that. But they will probably have a Wikipedia page open in the background to be able to look up what the young person is saying and be able to talk about it. So they'll know everything that the young person knows. They'll maybe pretend to be a young person themselves. But that's all part of the deal, that's part of the front. And they maybe will have 6 or 7 different profiles that they use, okay? 6 or 7 different characters that they have. And they'll know the character inside out because they use them all the time. So it is very difficult for a young person to know, but by looking out for the warning signs, such as agreeing with them on everything, such as being overly nice, such as being really friendly and not having anything that they don't have in common, so having all the same interests, things like that, they can be warning signs and something that a young person should look out for. If a young person has been a victim of an online groomer, obviously don't meet up with them. Cut off all contact. You don't need to be in contact with that person because obviously they're dangerous. That's the bottom line. You don't need to continue talking to them. You don't need to give them any reason because they're in the wrong. You don't need to feel guilty about cutting off contact because you're trying to protect yourself. And if they have been in contact with other people that you know, friends of friends, people on Facebook, then you can tell them as well. You can also report to CEOP. You can go on the Think You Know website, that's for young people, and that's CEOP's website that they have lots of information on, and they have a report system where you can fill out a little form online, you give all the information and CEOP will investigate. I've had to do one myself based on a report from a child in a school, and they're brilliant. They got in contact with me within 3 days, I think it was, and they were able to suspend the Facebook account. So that's only one option. That guy will probably have another Facebook account in 5 minutes, but at least that's kind of putting him on as, you know, kind of making him aware that people are onto him and they'll be able to monitor and things like that. So you can report to site administrators. So Facebook really don't like people using their website for stuff like that for obvious reasons. Twitter is the same. You can contact any of the site administrators, just send them an email, keep screenshots of what they've been saying and just report it and it'll get dealt with. A person can protect themselves online by making sure that their security is set, by making sure that they only have people that they know as friends, as followers, that they make their accounts private, that they don't have any communication with somebody that they don't know. Make sure that everybody on their friends list is legit. So people who try and add them who don't have a profile picture, or who maybe only have 3 or 4 friends, or who only have friends within a certain group. So say they only have friends within a school, or only have friends within a youth group. It could be that that's an online predator targeting a certain group to try and get access to as many kids as possible. So just be aware of other people's friend groups, be aware of other people's profiles, make sure that they're real, make sure that there are lots of pictures, make sure there are lots of friends in common, and make sure that there's no dodgy activity. So if a young person is curious about the potential dangers, or if they have gone through the abuse themselves, there are loads of different channels that you can go through. Teachers are there, that's what teachers get trained for, and they're there to help with any instances of abuse online or otherwise. There's CEOP, which I've already mentioned. They have the Think You Know website, which is for children and young people. It's all age related and tailored to their needs. There's also the CEOP's own website where the report button is that you can fill in the little form. The NSPCC has loads of amazing resources and research on online grooming. There's also Bernardo's, they've done some research as well. they can contact us as well, because that's what we're here for. If anybody has any questions, then they can come and talk to Nexus too.